windy last night. It was really windy. This morning Noelle got up and went outside to watch the sunrise. I just pushed up my curtain and I watched the sunrise in the comfort of bed. And I got up and made coffee.
Yeah, that was
that
awesome.
was good enough for me. I was looking out the window, I could see Noelle with like her blanket like flowing behind her. It was like a cape. No, not for me. Not for me. But now here we are, different spot, not quite as windy. We're going to float around in the park today and see what we can see, hopefully with less wind.
What's the name of this park again?
Badlands?
Yeah, Badlands National Park.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think we're going to just pull forward. It's the safest way for me to do this. Well, hey. When we started our escapade, what I noticed was this guy right here, there's a ground plug, and the ground plug is still there. It's actually stuck in the camper itself. So that was one problem. But then beyond the ground plug, I was checking, I have like no diagram, no schematics from Arctic Fox. So I was looking online and I found like a pin configuration. So I was checking voltage on the pin, and essentially when I did this, I was getting 0. So this is connected back here. Here, let me show you. So we're connected back here to the truck. So we've got this guy right here. This is the cable that runs then all the way up here into the camper. So I unplugged this, and then I checked voltage on the pin from the truck itself, and I have voltage. So then I had verified on here, and I had no voltage here. Well, let me back that up. So first thing I did was before I took the camper off, was I checked voltage here, and my voltage here was 0. I should have some voltage. So then I came back here, I checked the voltage in the truck bed itself without using the cable, and I had good voltage. So I plugged the cable back in, and now I have voltage here as well. So I could have a kink in my line, I could have a short going on in the line, or my connection in the back here could have been loose. I'm not really sure which it is, but probably I need to do a little homework to understand more about the grounding pin here. If this is just literally a grounding pin to rubber, then I can just stick it back in and not worry about it. But if this is a grounding pin that actually goes to a wire in here, a ground wire, then I'll probably just replace this whole thing. So but for the moment, then we got to put it all back together, and the truck was grinding when we took the truck camper off. So I wasn't squared up when I took this off. So generally this means Noelle and I are headed for some marriage counseling. So we're probably not going to show you too much of that part of the counseling, but you can see some of it maybe when we back the camper in, the truck into the camper. So we'll get on with that. It's just a graceful way to do this. So we wanted to talk about our process of actually putting the truck camper back onto the truck.
Generally what happens is Steve is the driver. We have some tape on the camper and tape in the truck bed that Steve lines up. And at the same time as he's lining those up, I'm walking around to each side of the camper and just making sure that we have the same amount of space on each side, that we're not rubbing against the edge of the camper.
Yeah, I think we have, I want to say, for space, on each side of the wheel well in the back of the camper, we might have 1.5 inches to 2 inches.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, ideally, it's about 1.5 inches on each side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not much wiggle room. So generally, I will check it on the sides, go back to the window, tell Steve which way to turn the wheel, and then he backs up 5 feet or so, and then we do the process again.
Yeah. This time, you can see us, we're both moving back and forth here, looking right and left. What was actually happening was we were off center on the left side of the camper. So the camper was too far over to the left. So we ended up, it was too far over to the right.
Right.
So we ended up jacking up the right side by itself just to push the camper a little bit towards the left.
Yeah. Once the the camper's on the truck, then we can use the jacks to adjust.
It's a little warmer inside. So here's our challenge today. We're bebopping down the road. It started yesterday. Last night I noticed that our charge on the battery was about, when we stopped for the night, it was about half full. And then as we took some showers and stuff, it went down to being 1/4 full. Usually after a day, if we drive the truck for, I'd say, a half hour, the batteries are just full. And we might go down to 3/4 full after a night of use. I was kind of trying to be generous, maybe half full, because we were using the heater and we don't always use the heater. The heater itself is gas, it's propane I should say, but the blowers are all electric. So the blowers can gobble up our battery power. So last night into this morning, or last night I think I was running the truck and I was watching and I didn't see that we were charging on our battery charger. So then I actually turned on the generator, our propane generator, and pretty quick we got from a 1/4 charge to a half charge. I would say that was in the span of about 20-25 minutes, but it was later at night, 6-ish, and I didn't really want to piss off our neighbors, so after about 20 minutes I turned it off. This morning we were back down to a 1/4 charge, and I was watching when the solar should have been kicking in, and I did not see anything happening with solar. Then we did some driving today. I stopped at one point from the driving. I would call it like a hard reboot. That's where I took we got a big red switch to kill power to everything. I hit the power, took it to power off, power to back on. And then after another half hour or so of driving, I came back here and looked again, and our battery was still sitting at about 1/4 full. So really from there, it was just kind of some head scratching. I'm not convinced that we're at the bottom of what's going on here. From solar, we should be charging during the day. And today from solar, we're not charging from anything. So even if the cable is bad or the pin configuration is no longer functional from the truck to the camper, I don't think that should be impacting our solar charging of our batteries. I checked the fuses for the under the sink. There's 4 fuses that come in from the bank of batteries, and then I checked the fuses on, there's an inverter, which I didn't think it would be, checked those and they're good. So that's what kind of led me out to look at the cable. But the reality is I have no documentation on anything electrical in here. So it's just kind of, trying to figure out on my own, what it could be. Even when I'm letting my finger search on Google, I'm really not getting a whole lot of information. What I found from Google was the pin configuration for the truck itself, what that should be. And one of the things that I was doing with Noel, when I was in the truck bed, I was actually going around it and verifying voltage on each of those different pin outputs. This Noel would like turn on the left blinker or the right blinker, whatnot. Then I was verifying, okay, am I seeing voltage coming through there? Then we went ahead and we hooked up like the main cable again, and I verified voltage at the other end of the cable. Now we do have voltage on the other end of the cable coming out, which I did not have before I started our little escapade tonight. In the meantime, though, we had gone ahead and we connected Cupcake to shore power because we wanted to get some heat going in here. So being connected to shore power, our batteries are now charging back up. So truth be told, tomorrow morning when we disconnect from shore power, we're going to have full batteries, and it might take us another day or two to figure out if we've rectified anything at all or if we've just kind of kicked the can down the road. And I'm okay with kicking the can down the road. There's a lot to be said for kicking it down the road in the summertime. But now when we're getting into cooler temperatures where we actually want to use the furnace every day with propane and the blowers that are battery intensive, we really need to get to the bottom of this. So I'd love to tell you that we're done. I don't think we are, so perhaps we'll talk about this again in the future very soon. Well, we ended up spending the night at the RV park, kind of like we talked about. And this morning, just because we were there and it was convenient, we dumped our tanks, the gray and the black water. We had just dumped them yesterday, so it seemed kind of a waste to do it again, but thought, we paid for it, so kind of let our gray and black water go. Now we're on our way towards the Corn Palace. We really don't know what the Corn Palace is all about, but it seems something to do on this, I guess, eastern side of South Dakota. So
On Halloween.
I'm sorry?
On Halloween.
Noel says on Halloween. So let's go do it.
We are inside the arena at the Corn Palace, and yeah, it's lots of stuff made out of corn, like murals, so it's kind of cool. Mount Rushmore.
Let's look at one. Corn.
Steve has his bag of popcorn.
It's really good too.
Can you smell that butter? Anyways, here we are, wandering around. Corn cam, take 2. I just had this nice little speech I gave to you
It was
guys.
so good. Oh my gosh.
And then Steve's like, oh, I'm not recording. So, we are on the balcony of the Corn Palace, and it's kind of neat, but there is...
That's corn.
Yeah, it says USA out of corn. And across the street is a camera, a live cam. So I sent the link to my sisters and to our kids. And then our daughter called us out because we weren't waving. So we waved to her. And then I took a screenshot for the kids. Both of our sons work the night shift, so they're probably a little upset that they're getting dinged with, look at me, live at the Corn Palace text. But kind of fun. So we'll put in a picture of us, a screenshot of us live at the corn camp.
I was remembering, the corn up there. So one of the things was telling us the corn, they actually cut it in half.
Oh, the
so
cobs?
the cob, they cut
Yeah.
the cob in half,
So
and
they
then
glue it on?
No, they nail it.
Oh.
It's like
Well, look over here.
220,000 nails they use every year.
This is pretty cool. That one is a work in progress. So it's kind of like, you want to go ahead?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a paint by number. It tells them which color of corn to use for which section.
So yellow, light brown, dark brown. Yeah. It's kind of fun.
And there's the downtown, and look it's the something of cupcakes.
Cupcakes?
Yeah, see that sign? Cupcakes.
Oh yeah, we'll have to go there. So the place has been here since, I think, 1897, 1898, like when they first opened. I think it's grown since then. They have concerts that come through here, comedians, magic acts, you know.
Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk, basketball shows, not basketball shows, basketball games. So it's kind of fun. They've got all the pictures like in a row of every single year since they opened. You can see what the mural looked like, and I think when it first opened, maybe there was a lot more excitement about the Corn Palace than there is today.
Well, today it's October and it's really cold out here.
Yeah, this is just how we're showing our love for you. It is cold. But when they first opened, you could see pictures, just hundreds of people out here.
Said, thanks for sharing.
There's hundreds of people outside, all dressed up really nice, ready to come into the Corn Palace. Versus today, there's 2 of us. But the popcorn was really, really good. So that was an added bonus. In fact, it wasn't good popcorn, it was great popcorn. I wish you could have had some, but I ate all of yours.
And mine.
And yours.
Also.
Wait, you didn't want any?
Yeah.
Right, anyway, that's the Corn Palace. You know, I've often wondered, you're driving down the road, you see somebody's car where they've got all of this stuff just stuck to like the top of their car, like doodads, knickknacks, that kind of stuff. I was wondering, how did you get to this sorry place in life when your car is now like this traveling load of junk? I'm not sure I really have any answers. But even without answers, I think I'm just going to continue to work on doing our own little decoration here. So now we have Roswell, we have Area 51, now we have the Corn Palace to guide us as we travel down the road. Join us next week when we set our sights on Chicago and continue working on electrical issues.